All right, been having some technical issues today. Um, Let me know if, I'm not sure if this is streaming or not. Not really sure. I think it is. All good, perfect. Sound is okay. No echo, nothing. Video is fine. Okay, I'm assuming all is good. Okay, perfect. I have no idea what happened, and I have no idea what I did to fix it. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. It's already, it's just 5 minutes to the NY Open. All right, so let's go. So basically, we're very bearish, all right? When we said the price is going to come to 3167 yesterday, it did. Came to 3167. In fact, it went a lot below. It came to 3135 and then reacted off 3135, right? And we're pushing up right now. Let's go to the trading chart. So price did come. I'm not going to spend time doing a recap. Price did come down, but it didn't do that in the in the New York session or the post NYSE session yesterday. It happened in the Asian session, as usual. We've had volume in the Asian session, so the move happened actually. It did respect the 15-minute the fib, but the move happened down. It was about a 700 pip move down. It happened in the Asian session, right? So yeah, but I did take sells from here later on because 50-minute resistance was formed exactly as we discussed on the streams. I said wait for 15-minute resistance to form for a tradable 15-minute back candle to close, and then you can draw the fib and take the trade. I did take the trade from around here, and here there was an entry here at 318936 and 3191.48, and then I got out at these TP levels. There was one here, 3180, 3176, and 3171. It didn't come within my session. It didn't come here, so I got out here, and the rest I think I got out somewhere break even, right? So yeah, let's get rid of all of this. We've got time today because we've got about 30 minutes. There is news today. Let's start with the calendar. So we've got retail sales and PPI today, 8:30 a.m. EST. So we're going to wait for that before we take any trades, right? So we got about 30, just over 30 minutes. So it should work out fine. Okay. Yeah, we've reacted to this liquidity candle. Perfect. Let's start by extending that to the right. Here's the 15th. We have drawn that on the, I think, at the beginning of the month or in April. Yeah, so we've reacted to that liquidity candle right there. That's why these are so important, because price will come to them, right? It'll just take time, but it will come to them. Okay. So there's a drop, 3 basin candles and a drop, base, drop here. Okay. Let's take a look at it on the 1 hour because price has come past a weekly SR level here. So that's better there. Let's take a look at it on the 30-minute as well. Yeah, that's good on the 30-minute. So keep it to the 1 hour. This high is 832 and this open is 184. 32, 184. Okay, and this is 4-hour supply. It's 4-hour demand. Yeah, we'll cover this area as well. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this zone now. This entire thing is a zone now. It's a 500 pip zone. No, maybe not. Let's do it this way. All right. So that'll be the drop, 2 basin candles and a drop. Okay. And again, let's look at it on the 1 hour because we've crossed 3230 here. Yeah, that's better. A drop base drop. Let's look at the 30-minute as well. Yeah, that's better. Right? So this would be the drop. These are all basin candles. You can see they're all stacked next to each other, and that's the next big drop, right? So drop, base drop. So let's put the numbers there. This high is 383. Right. Let's move this up. 383. That's 4-hour supply, and this is 4-hour supply. Right, so we got 4-hour supply here, 4-hour supply here, and that should be good enough. Yeah, that's about 700 pips to the upside. That should be good enough. Now I'm going to extend these liquidity candles to the right. Again, there are 2 liquidity candles stacked one above the other. Second. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the demand area here. So we've got our supply covered now. We've got a zone here. One second, let's just take a look at the one. Yeah, that's a clean drop. There's nothing there. 30-minute. Yeah, there's nothing there. So we've covered the supply. That's correct. That's a fairly large zone. So 260 pip zone, not bad. Let's take a look at this on the 1 hour, this area, right? There is a base here. There's a rally, base rally. And the reason we're looking at the 1 hour is because there is a psychological round number there. So let's take a look at the 30-minute as well. Yeah, that's good on the 30-minute. Rally, 3 basin candles and a rally. So the open here is 966, low 30072. 966. This low is 0.72, 30.72. Okay, perfect, done. Let's take a look at these areas and see if these are high liquidity zones. We have two new supply zones that we've drawn and one new demand zone, right? And this would be on the 1 hour. Okay, so let's start with this. Price is already there. Has this taken out anything to the left? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has. This move down has taken out demand here. Yeah, there's a rally base. Let me just zoom in a more. A rally base and a rally here, then again a base and a rally here. So we've taken out all of that on the way down, so making this a high liquidity zone, right? That price could react to today. Further up, this is also a high liquidity zone. We have a drop base rally here, and price has taken out that base here with this move down, making this also a high liquidity zone. Perfect. Right? Let's see if this demand is a high liquidity zone. Let's go to under the 1 hour again. Let's take a look at the 30-minute. Yeah, there is a drop, a base here, right? I would say a single base in candle, drop base, and this is the move out. These two candles or these three candles is a move out of that zone. And this move up has taken out that high, that base right there. So the base is about 35 pips, 30, 35 pips, and we've taken out that, right? Okay, perfect. Just clean this up. Let's see if we're going to have volume today, just like we did yesterday in the NY session. It'll be nice to see if we have volume today. Then it's very likely that volume has shifted back to the NY session. So we might have decent volume for Friday as well. Okay. Now again, keep in mind, price is below the EMAs. It's very bearish right now. We're looking for sells, right? But again, we have to look at the low time frames and see what price, what opportunities we get for the first 2 hours of the NY Open. Okay. All right. Yeah, so now price is currently in this. We're going to take a look at these three new zones, the demand zone, the 4 hour supply, and this 4 hour supply, and see if we have high liquidity candles inside them. Okay. Start with the 1 hour. So the largest candle would be this. Let's start with that. Sorry. 30-minute. There's this candle as well. Let's go to the 15-minute. Yeah, 178 pips. Definitely this one. That's the one. That's the candle right there. Let's take a look at the 5-minute as well. Yeah, that's the move. 260 pip move down. Yeah. 15 is good. 175414. Okay, perfect. That's where we're heading to, right? That's a liquidity candle. Let's take a look at the one above in case price needs to move further to grab liquidity. Now keep in mind this gap hasn't been filled yet, right? This gap here is left empty. We haven't filled. Price usually needs to fill gaps. It could happen at any time. right? Could happen later on next week, the week after next, but it will get filled eventually. Um, okay, start with this. Yeah, still that one. Hmm. 94 pips, 83, 118. I think we're going to stick with the 30-minute on this one. 146. Yeah, 30-minute for sure. And the weekly SR level runs right in the middle of it. 809, 959. 09959. Okay, done. Okay, let's look at demand. Start with the 1 hour again. We have this big candle here. Let's start with that. This is a liquidity grab from the weekly SR level and the liquidity candle. This one, big wick. I've always said this, whenever there is a huge wick, 114 pip wick, that's a liquidity grab. It stands out like a sore thumb. Okay, 30-minute, 200 pip candle. It's much smaller, 162 pip. 153, 142. Let's go to the 5-minute quickly. Yeah, it's that candle. Perfect. 15-minute. And it covers that wick even better. So 048508. 048508. Low 508. Now I'm going to bring this down so we don't overlap it. Okay, that's better. Done. That's it. Okay, in record time. We've got still about 16 minutes to the news, right? 8:30 is news. Yeah, 15 minutes to news. Okay, let's take a look at just a second. Okay. Just let me know if the audio and video is all good, yeah, on the stream. It's all good, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I've got to figure out what's the issue with the streaming. I had some issues yesterday as well. I got to probably this weekend figure it out and see what's wrong, what the issue is. Um, all right. Okay, let's take a look at what price has done so far. We've moved 720 pips today, and the majority of the move has been in the Asian session. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame, see where the market opened, and see what price has done in the Asian and London sessions. So the market opened yeah, here. Yeah, here. 31.79, right? 31.79 is the market open. We're coming to the Asian high. We're moving up. Oh, look at that move. Look at that move. Phew. Ay. Mm. Three one five zero Asian low. Um, yeah, very bullish right now. Retrace the entire move. That entire move, 720 pip move, is being retraced all the way back in the London session. Okay, this is 4 highs 260. All right. So in the Asian session, we moved 440 pips, continued further down, and in the London session, we've moved 500 pips, right? Roughly 450 and 500, almost the same, right? It's a lot of volume in the Asian and London session. That's a lot of volume. Okay, let's take a closer look at what price did. We still have about 10 minutes. Price pushed down yesterday, right? It came, I think I took sell somewhere here. It did come down. And then, one second, I just want to check these areas. 35, 67, 94, 3230. Okay. All right. So price ranged after that. We just went sideways. After we came down, I think here is where it hit my second TP. And then after that, we just went sideways. There's nothing, just sideways. This is a base. Part of it was just creating this base, right? On the 4 we were just creating this base right here. Very ugly on the 1 hour, right? That's what price did. And then We pushed up to the EMAs, grabbed liquidity, created the Asian high, dropped straight past 3167. That was the TP level that I had given yesterday, 3167. We dropped there. We continued further. There was a lot of bearish volume. Continued further to 3150. Paused there for a bit, created the Asian low, continued further down, right? It closed at it, then closed below it, then closed below it, continued further down to 3135, and then came all the way and then pushed back up and came to the liquidity candle, right? Reacted, pushed up, created the London low, created a liquidity candle on the way up, went back up to the Asian low and 3150. They're both at the same level. Tapped it, came back down, tapped the liquidity candle once inside the London session and 3135, closed above 3150, tapped it again here, pushed straight up to 3167 and backed into the EMAs. We pushed back there, we created the London high and then we closed above it. We formed 30-minute support here, closed above it, and then came back. We dipped back to tap it here, the London high, and we're pushing up. We're pushing towards the Asian high, right? We're pushing to. There's nothing. You cannot buy right now. There's absolutely no buying because price has moved. This is the move. It's made a over 500 pip move. These were the buys, right? If you traded the London session, these were the buys. This was a trade to take. We formed 30-minute support here. Perfect trade, 30-minute support, price dip back, grab liquidity, went straight up. That's the move. Now, no buying. We're inside for several reasons, right? Reason number one, we're far away from the origin of the move. We're far away from the extreme. That's reason number one, right? Price is already pushed far away. You don't want to be chasing down price. Price has already moved far away, right? This was the origin of the move. Price is 500 pips away from it right now, okay? Reason number one. Second reason, we're inside supply, right? And we've tapped a liquidity candle, okay? So just for these two reasons, you cannot buy now, right? Even though we're very bullish on the 4-hour time frame, we've created support and we're pushed up. If you want to buy, we have to wait for price to pull back. One second. Okay, we got to wait for price to pull back. 7 minutes more for news. We got to wait for price to pull back, create support, 30-minute support, right? Because price is now at the EMAs. We're alongside the EMAs. We're not above it. We're not below it. We're right in the middle of it. Price needs to pull back because price can start to range here, right? Anything can happen. We can start to range for the next 4 hours. So if you want to buy, price has to pull back ideally to a liquidity level, create 30-minute support, and then draw the M15 fib, look for the pullback, wait for the pullback, and take the trade to go up, right? Those are the buys. That's the way I would look for buys. Price pulls back, creates 30-minute support, a tradable 30-minute bull candle closes, go down to the 15-minute time frame, draw the fib, wait for the pullback, and take the trade to go up, right? That's the only way I'd look for a buy. For sells, price is very bullish. It's pushed 650 pips since the London session, right? That's the London open is around here. So we've pushed up 650 pips. 30-minute resistance has to form. Absolutely. 30-minute resistance has to form. This, I don't consider this. You can. This is 30-minute resistance. This is 30-minute resistance, but I would like to see another 30-minute resistance form to take, because this, even though it's 30-minute resistance, we've formed 30-minute supports straight after that, and we've pushed past it, right? So I would want to see 30-minute resistance form from a liquidity level. It could be from the liquidity candle, it could be from the weekly SR level 3194, it could be from 3200, it could be further up from this liquidity candle, or even 3230. Right? So we have 5 areas that we can form 30-minute resistance. The liquidity candle, that's 1. 31942, 3203. This liquidity candle 4, and this weekly SR level 5. Right? Any one of these 5 areas, I I'm waiting for 30-minute resistance to form for a 30-minute tradable back candle to close. Then I'll draw the fib and look to take the trade down, right? That's the sell idea. I've given out the buy idea, what I'm waiting for is for buys, and I've given out the idea for sells. Either one of these two things have to happen for me to take a trade today. If either of them don't, then no trade. I'm still working. I'm still planning, not working. I'm still planning on the premise of that there is no volume in the NY session, right? Because though we saw volume yesterday, about a 400 pip drop, 450 pip drop yesterday. After that we ranged. That's fine, but we saw 450 pip, but that's only one day. So I'm not banking on that one day, and I'm not depending on that one day to anticipate today that we're going to have similar volume. May not happen, right? You need to have 2 consecutive days of high volume, right, in the NY session in the first 2 hours of the NY Open, not after, first 2 hours of the NY Open, to know that volume is going to has shifted back, right? Now, I still don't see that because I see that volume is still there in the Asian session. That's 700 pips in the Asian session, almost 700 pips in the 650 pips in the London session, right? So I still don't see volume, a shift in volume to the first 2 hours of the NY Open or to the NY Open. So I'm going to uh, I'm going to anticipate low volume. That's a safer approach to take. I'm going to anticipate low volume in the first 2 hours of the NY Open. So if I do get a setup, and the reason for that is uh, because of what we've seen and how I'm going to use that information is I'm going to be very conservative with my TP levels, right? So if I do get a setup, I will partial close at 40, 50 pips, and then maybe let the rest run, right, to the TP levels that I'll give out on the streams. That's exactly what I did yesterday. I closed 18, I think about 85, 90%. I think I had about 10% left to 3167, and it didn't get there, and it went out and stopped me at my break-even stop loss, right? But I have taken out 85, I think over 85% of my position by then because I still haven't seen, even this was just one day, that doesn't mean that volume is back in the NY Open. It doesn't mean that. We still haven't seen. We haven't seen a shift in volume. So uh, it might be the case. It might be like this this week and even next week. Next week is I don't think we're having any news next week. Next week, yeah, there's. Let's see next week. Yeah, there is no news next week. This is a non-news week. That's nothing. This doesn't mean anything. And then the week after that also is a non-news week, right? There's a bank holiday on the 26th, Monday 26th. There's a bank holiday. What holiday is it? Memorial Day. So there'll be no streams on the 26th, obviously. NY session is I don't trade on bank holidays. So the next 2 weeks can be very quiet. Let's see. It depends. If there is some news with regard to tariffs, then we might have some volume coming in. But the next 2 weeks, this week and this week, there is no news. Nothing. Okay. News in 10 seconds. But I'm doing nothing. I'm doing nothing because we're very bullish and I'm doing nothing. We're pushing up. 30-minute candle closed bullish. We're still pushing up. We're pushing past this. Yeah, we're pushing. Yeah, we're pushing past this. This liquidity candle has been tapped. Price drop tapped once, twice, three times, and this is the fourth time. And price has come deep into it. It's a 175 pip candle. Price has come 139 pips, 85 pips. Yeah, we've come deep in. 178. Yeah, let's see. I'm waiting for 30-minute resistance. I'm not taking any trades until I see 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute back candle close. No sells at least. No sells until I see that. I think we're coming further up. Yeah, this is better. We're coming here. How is the daily candle going to close then? Ooh, possible we could have a 1,000 pip candle today. Very possible. Yeah, we could have a 1,000 pip candle today. We could go all the way up to 3230, back to 32030, or just under. That's where daily support is. We'll be pushing there. But price has to pull back, create 30 minutes support, and a tradable 30-minute bull candle has to close for me to take the buys to go up. 30-minute support is formed here. One second, let's look at this more. Yeah, we can push this zone up. Yeah, we can push this zone up here. Close 77.40. Yeah, we're pushing up. Pushing up for sure. We're going to go past this liquidity candle. It's a lot of bullish volume. Yeah, I'm going to bring this zone all the way up here because that's the most recent rally-based drop on the 30-minute. This close is 659. 6.59. Yeah, that's better. That's the zone. We've narrowed it down now, right? And the liquidity candle is that. That's fine. That's fine. The liquidity candle is fine. But the zone is much narrower. Now, yeah, 30-minute support is formed here. Pre-NY, 30-minute support. Let's look at the 50-minute time frame. Oh, it's ugly. Yeah, price would come lower here. That'll be better if it comes here. Come past this down and then push up. Yeah, from this liquidity level, I would like to see price. If I'm going to take buys, I would like to see price come down here. To take buys, right? For buys, I would like to see price come. Second, yeah, I would like to see price come down here to take the buys to push up. Hmm. Yeah, so I've shared the idea for the sell idea, what I'm waiting for sells and what I'm waiting for buys. I'll repeat it again. For sells, 30-minute resistance has to form and a tradable 30-minute back candle has to close, either from the liquidity candle or from the weekly SR level or from any one of these liquidity levels, right? The liquidity candle, weekly SR level, the psychological round number, or this liquidity candle here, or this weekly SR level, any one of those five. A 30-minute resistance has to form and a 30-minute tradable back candle has to close for me to take sells to come down. For buys, I'd like to see price come to a liquidity level. And the closest liquidity level here for price to push up is the weekly SR level, 3167. Right? That's where you can see price came very close to, tapped it, pushed up. If it comes around 3167, forms 30-minute support, then I'll look to take buys up. Right? Needs to pull back. Form 30-minute support, I'll look to take buys up. But I'd like to see price go deeper in and then come down to take the buys to go up. Because we could be heading back to 3230. On the daily, yeah, we could be heading back to 3230. Yeah. Right now, there's nothing, no volume. News has had absolutely no effect. No volume at all. Yeah, there's just no volume. Yeah. For buys, I'm watching this area for buys. 3167. Or if not, then further down 3150 at a liquidity level. I always look at liquidity levels for buys or for sells. For my setup, right, to form at a liquidity level. These are the liquidity levels. These are 5 key areas that to look for a trade or find liquidity on a price chart that I look for on a price chart. 5 key areas, right? As a liquidity candle or a HLC, a liquidity high liquidity candle, a BRN or a psychological round number, a weekly support resistance level. Those are drawn. I draw them manually, but they usually are there for once you draw them, they're there. They don't change. And then the EMAs, right? 3 of those are automatically drawn by this indicator that I use. The BRN and the EMAs um, are drawn by the liquidity the indicator that I use. The high liquidity candle and the weekly SR levels, I draw them manually. The weekly SR levels are they're they're just there on the chart. They've been there for I've had these I think for maybe about 2 years now. A lot of these lines goes back about 2 years. Um, about no, sorry, about a little over a year. A little over a year. Yeah. This was I'd spoken about this I think a couple of months ago. This was the last time there was a trade war. This was the last time there was a trade war. Yeah. This is the down cycle in a trade war. I've spoken about this, and then the up cycle started, continued down a bit, and we continued high. Yeah. This was the last time there was a trade war. But I think things are a little different this time because a lot of countries are kind of coming up with their own terms and conditions, and they're ready for talks. So there is not much uncertainty as there was the last time. There was for a few weeks, but after that, I think things are settling down. And that's the reason the dollar is strengthening. All right, look at that drop 3,150 pips drop, $315 change in the price of gold over a period of a week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, just over a week and a half. $315 change in the price of gold. Okay, so we got still 15 minutes for the candle to close. We are reacting here. That's a doji. There is nothing there. Um, So waiting for the candle to close. Okay, I'll be back in a couple of minutes, maybe 3-4 minutes. We've got to wait for this 50-minute candle to close to see if we are forming 30-minute resistance here or not. Um, yeah, we could have sells, we could have buys. Uh, I'm more interested in the buys than the sells. I'm more interested in buys than sells, but I don't want to take buys from here. It's too close to the liquidity candle. I'd like to take buys at a liquidity level. 3167 is that area, because here it's just not that. That's a cleaner move up. I'd like to take buys further down, yeah, at around 3167. In fact, in fact, in fact, got to mark this out. It's a weekly SR level and we have a zone there. Yeah, there's a zone there, rally-based rally at that weekly SR level. Yeah, there's a zone there. 1 hour demand. Rally-based rally, because we've crossed a weekly SR level, right? And now we need to see if there's a liquidity candle in there. Is this 114 pip candle? Yeah, yeah, that would be the candle. Hmm. Yeah, let's use the 15-minute. 812,934. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So again, I'm waiting for sells or buys. For sells, 30-minute resistance has to form. A tradable 30-minute back candle needs to close to take the sells to come down. For buys, I'm waiting for price to pull back, create 30-minute support at a liquidity level. We have a weekly SR level here and a liquidity candle here. I'm either there or further down for 30-minute support to form and a tradable 30-minute bull candle to close to take buys. Okay, we still have about 10 minutes for the candle to close. I'll be back in 2-3 minutes. Yeah, still pushing up, nothing. Nothing. This is why you wait for 30-minute confirmation, right? Price is bullish, got to wait for 30-minute confirmation, not 15-minute. There are times that I wait for 15-minute confirmation and seen when those times are. That's when price is very far away from the EMAs, when price is about 300 plus pips, 350, 400 pips away from the EMAs, then you're not going to have price pull back that much to create 30-minute resistance. You'll have a bit of a pullback, like what happened yesterday, right? Price was what, 400 plus pips away from the EMAs at this point. Yeah, 480 pips away from the EMAs. So I said 15-minute resistance. Clearly, if you watch the last 5 minutes, 6 minutes of the streams yesterday, I'd given out the idea very clearly. I said where to place stop loss. I said wait for price to pull back. Wait for the. I said first wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything until the 4-hour candle closes. Watch the last 5 or 6 minutes of the stream, and it was very clear. I said wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything until the 4-hour candle closes. So the 4-hour candle closed. Yeah, this was the close of the 4-hour candle. This one right here. This is the open of the new 4-hour candle. I said wait for the 4-hour candle to close. I said second, wait for 15-minute resistance to form and a tradable 15-minute bear candle to close. They can both happen with one, right? So that was this candle right here. And then draw the fib. So this is how you would draw the fib from the most recent high that was taken out to the most recent low, to the highest high to the most recent low. This one took out this side, this one took out this side. And then look at that. Price came, tapped in, then pushed down. I got in somewhere there. I took an entry somewhere here, just above here, and I took an entry there. There is inside this is a 5-minute supply zone, right? Sorry, 1 minute, not 5 minutes. This one right here. Rally base rally. Rally base drop right here. And there was one here. That's why I placed a pending order here. There's a rally base drop here and a rally base drop here. Placed one there, one here, right? And where would you manage risk? Right here, right? You have 50-minute resistance form here. So 3192, yeah, 3192 is where you would manage risk, 3192. And we didn't go above 3192. We tapped the supply zone and we dropped straight down. So that was a very tight stop loss on that because 3192 and the entry also was around just under 3192. So the stop loss was about what, 5-10 pip stop loss on the second trade. On the first trade it would have been about 20, 25, 23 pips on the first trade. Second trade about 5 pips. And price came, I got out here, I took partial positions here, and I'd given the TP levels. But I don't hold my trades overnight. I don't do that. I get in and get out inside a session. So because that's been my experience, has been it's better to do it that way, even though you have price can run to TP levels, and it did run to 3167 and further down. I always bring my stops to break even once a couple of partial TP levels are hit, and then I let the rest run. If it runs, if it doesn't, it comes back and hits my break even stop loss. Yeah, we're pushing up. Like I said, we should push through this level, but I can't take buys. I got to wait. I want to wait for. I want to wait at a liquidity level. There's no liquidity level here. There's nothing here. So the liquidity level is 3167 or the liquidity candle. That's where I want to wait for buys. For sells, again, at any one of these 5 liquidity levels that I've shared. So right now we have nothing. Just have to wait. We should be going through this. We should be going above this. Yeah, very, very bullish. It's very likely that we get a trade just like every day for the last several weeks. We're coming close to third week where we had no volume in the first 2 hours of the NY Open. So it's very likely that we get a trade later on, right? And I had given the time yesterday. I'd given the time exactly for the trade. I said around 10 a.m. EST, and it's likely around then is when we'll get a trade. 10 a.m. EST, 10:30 a.m. EST, around that time should get a trade. So there is plenty of time. There's about an hour left. If we form 30-minute resistance here and a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, we can take a trade, but I'm more interested, as I said, in the buys. I'm more interested in the buys than the sells because we are very bullish. We're forming support, right? We've formed on the 4 hour, we formed support. We're pushing up. We're trying to push past this zone here to go up. So I'm more interested in the buys. I'm not really interested in sells here. I'm not keen. Even if 30-minute resistance form and a tradable 30-minute back candle close, I doubt I'll take a sell. We are because we've moved 700 pips, right? Almost 700, 690 pips. We are very bullish right now. Since the London session, we've retraced this entire move, and it's very likely that we're pushing further up, right? Very close to 3230 or higher. So I want to get up. I want to get in. I want to get in on the buys, but there needs to be a pullback, 30-minute support form, and then look for a trade to go up. Any questions on anything that I've discussed? Even anything that I've discussed this week? Anything on any questions on high time frame analysis, on support resistance, supply demand, anything on anything technical that I have discussed today or this week? Drop a message in the chat and I'll do my best to answer. Yeah, I got to figure out what happened with my streaming software. Something went wrong with it today. I gotta figure that out. I tried everything I at least everything I thought I knew, but couldn't get the streams up and running. And I can't remember what I did to get the streams up and running. I did something, and it started working. I just have to figure that out if it happens again. Yeah, so far nothing. It's been like this for a couple of weeks now, about 2.5 weeks now. So I'm not surprised by this lack of volume in the NY Open. So I'm going to be here for another 15 minutes, but I will give out a trade idea. And I, just like yesterday, I I think there should be a trade that will work out, and that could be a sell. That could be a sell. Once price comes up, either it closes above the zone, closes back below the zone, and then price starts to push down. 30-minute resistance form, a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, starts to push down. That could be a sell idea. Or price comes straight up here, and then mm, yeah, yeah, another 100 pips. Yeah, around 3,200, just above 3,200. Yeah, that could happen. Price comes above or to 3,200, uh, closes above, then closes back below, 30-minute resistance form, tradable 30-minute back candle closes, and could look to take the trade to come down. But it's going to take time. It's not going to happen now. It's not going to happen in the next 30 minutes or an hour. It's going to take time for it to for the setup to um, print on the chart. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. For buys, it's still the same idea. Price needs to pull back to a liquidity level. That's possible too today. Price could go up, then come down, come to a liquidity level, create 30-minute support, tradable 30-minute bull candle closes, and then a pullback to go back up. That's possible too. And the TP levels for your buys would be 3194, 3200, and then here the liquidity candle 3218, around 3218. What is this? The 4 hour? No, it's the 4 hour. Yeah, yeah, around 3218, 3218, 3219. All right, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. There's nothing happening. We're neither moving up or down. Just no volume. Yeah, we're pushing up further. We're pushing up further, as expected. Pushing up further. There will be a trade today. There will be a trade today. Post. One second. There will be a trade today. With the very possibly with the 4-hour candle close. Yeah. 45 minutes for the candle, 44 minutes of the 4 hour, 43 minutes of the 4-hour candle to close. So, yeah, we're pushing up. We're pushing up. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I, here's my prediction. Okay, here's my prediction. There are no certainties, but here's my prediction. There's going to be a sell trade, right? But the better trade today are buys. The sell trade might happen somewhere here, only for price to pull back to grab liquidity to continue higher, right? To push up here. So first, obviously, the sell trade will happen. That could happen with the 4-hour candle close, just before the 4-hour candle close, or after the 4-hour candle closes. And then later on, around 11 a.m. EST or 11:30 a.m. EST, there should be a buy trade. Price pulls back, creates support, and then price pushes up. Because we're creating a new high in the NY session. The better trade is to wait for the pullback, wait for some sort of support to form, ideally 30-minute support to form, right? And then look for the trade to go back and retest the high and continue higher. That's the better trade today. That's the better trade today. But there will be a sell trade as well. That's my prediction. There will be a sell trade as well, but the better trade will be a buy trade. Okay? That's my prediction for today. 10 minutes more. One second. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be here for maybe 10 minutes more. Wait for the 30-minute candle to close and then end the stream. There is, we've tapped 3,200. Yeah, we've tapped 3,200. So my prediction is there will be a sell, but the better trade today will be a buy. Because the 4-hour candle should close bullish and should very likely close above. Let's look at 1 hour. Yeah. Just a second. I'll share where the 4-hour candle should close for the buys. Yeah, 3188. Yeah. Okay. So the 4-hour candle, all right. So the 1-hour candle has already closed. Yeah. So this 1-hour candle has already closed above 3188. 30-minute candle is closed. Yeah. So this 30-minute candle, okay, let me now give uh, more details to my prediction, right? Let me share a few more details. 3188 is a key area, right? You can see 15-minute resistance. Okay, we stayed below, we closed above, closed back below, we closed above, we closed back below, stayed below, right? And if you look left, same thing, right? Closed above, closed below, closed above, stayed above, tap, stayed above, right? If you look at the 30-minute there, exact same thing, okay? Towards the end, on the 30-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour, it's all the same thing, okay? Now, so 3188 is a very important area, key level, a key SR level, a lower time frame, 15-minute, 30-minute, or 1 hour, uh, important level, lower time frame level, right? 3188. Now, a 30-minute candle has closed above it. This candle is very likely, sorry, this candle is very likely going to close above it as well, right? Very likely going to close above 3188. The next candle might pull back. The next candle might pull back. The next candle, when the next candle closes, the next candle could close below 3188, very possibly below 3188, right? Or at 3188. The next candle, not this one, the next one. That candle will also be the close of the 4-hour candle, right? When the next candle, which means it'll leave a wick on the 4-hour. There'll be a wick to fill. There'll be about 100 and what? At least 120 pip, 125 pip or more wick to fill on the 4-hour, right? Possibly even more, right? So the next candle would close bearish, not this one, the next one. This will close above. The next one should close bearish, leaving a wick to fill. Very likely. This is a very likely that the next one will close bearish at 3188 or below it, right? Leaving a 125, yeah, at least a 120, 125 wick to fill. That's when price will pull back. You could take sells to come down here, or you can skip the sells and wait for the buy so price to go back up, right? Both options could work. You can take the sells to come down. Sells will be short-lived. That's my prediction. Again, there are no certainties in trading, but that's my prediction. Sells will be short-lived. The better trade, as I said, would be the buys. Wait for 30-minute support to form and take the buys to go back up, right? Eyes on 3188, right? That's a key level, low time frame key level, 3188. Okay, I'll be here for another 2-3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, and then we'll end the stream. Any questions on anything that I've shared so far, on the setup that I've given for the next couple of hours? There'll be a sell trade very soon, maybe in the next 30 minutes to 60 minutes. There'll be a sell trade, and after that, around 11 a.m. EST or 11:30 a.m. EST, closer probably even 12 noon EST is when there will be a buy opportunity. That would be the better trade today to take, the buy trade. We've retraced the entire move. We are closing above the Asian high, signaling that there is a lot of bullish volume. So this liquidity candle should break pretty easily. We should break. We've come deep in, right? Should break very easily. Wait for the pullback, wait for support to form, take the buys to go up. That's the trade that I'll be looking for. It's possible to take a sell also, but remember the sells will be short-lived. But again, if you're taking a sell trade, wait for the setup, wait for 30-minute resistance to form. If you're trading the way I do, if you're trading in a different system, then you can trade your system. But if you're trading the way I trade, what I look for is, if I'm taking a sell trade, 30-minute resistance has to form, a 30-minute tradable back candle has to close, and then I'll draw my fib on the M15, look for the pullback, and take the trade to come down. Again, I'll be very conservative with my TPs on the sells. I'll also be conservative on my TPs on the buys because we've not had a lot of volume in the NY session. For that reason, I'll be conservative with my TPs in general. Any questions before I end the stream? I'll be here for a couple of minutes more and then we'll end the stream. Let me know in the chat. Okay, 30-minute candle is closing above 3188 as predicted. The next one should push down. Yeah. Can't take a sell here. I'm going to take a sell, a very tight sell. Very tight sell. We're rejecting this. I'm going to take a sell here. Now I'm going to also end the streams. I'm going to manage risk at 3,200, right? That's my hard stop loss, 3,200. Yeah, because price should come down. Pull back up here and then come down. 976 191. Yeah, I've taken a sell there at 3194. Right? So the prediction is that price 30-minute candle is going to close bearish, right? That was what I said. 30-minute, this one closed above, the next one is going to close bearish. Nine seven six one nine one. Open a pending order here as well, 533. Three 3188 is an area that you can take partial positions. That's about 50 pips. Yeah. And then further down, 83. Remember, the cells are going to be short-lived, right? So don't try to hold here. So 3183, 3188, 3183. And these are about 100 pips. 3188, 3183. 3176. This is the 4-hour candle close. 25 minutes for the 4-hour candle to close. This is the pullback to create that top wick, right? I shared the prediction. I said there are no certainties in trading, but I'm sharing a prediction, right? So it could work out, it could not work out. Now, the reason also the confirmation is we've tapped 3194 weekly SR level. We've created 50-minute resistance and a tradable 15-minute back candle has closed. I'm looking for price to pull down, come to 3188 and then 3183, right? So that the at least to 3188, because it's going to, if we need a wick, I said about a 120 pip wick. That's why my first TP level is a 3188. So if you entered here around 3194, that would be the correct entry. That's about 60 pips. 737. Take another pending order there as well. 197,737. There's a pending order here as well. Not sure if you're going to get there. 3195. We're coming down. So if you took entry at 3194, great. Get out here. Partial TP is here, 60 pips. If you come further, you can bring your stops to break even and hold it for 3183. But remember to, this is where I'm going to manage risk at, yeah, we're going to put the level here to manage risk. 96. 3196 is a good area, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 3196 is good. Yeah, 3196 is good. 3196. 3196 it is. So the stop loss is about 30 pips. 3196. If price breaks above 3196, you can close partials. If the 15-minute candle closes above 3196, then you can close everything, or you can close partial still, and then hold the rest for 3,200. So 3 instances to manage risk. Okay. If you break above the high, if you break above 3196, go past it, close partials. You could close about 30%. If the 15-minute candle closes above it, close another 30-40%, and then keep some for 3,200. Right? That's the plan. Let's see. If you broke above the high, price broke. If you took your sales down here, then you can close at least 10% of your 10-15% of your sales. You can close them. But the 15-minute candle, I'm waiting for the 15-minute candle to close above 3196. It should come further up. Should come further up, yeah. Five minutes more for the 15-minute candle to close. You can manage risk. I'm just holding. I've taken a very small position, so It's a very tight stop loss for me, so it doesn't matter. But if the 15-minute candle closes, then I'll manage risks because I've taken very low risk here. But if you, when it broke the high, if you wanted to close positions, you could have. Anticipating price to come here. Let's see. The whole idea is that we are in a liquidity candle, in a high liquidity candle. We have tapped a liquidity level, 3194. We created 15-minute resistance. It would be better to take 30-minute resistance. That's always better. But the reason I went with the 15-minute resistance is because this is the 4-hour candle close, and I predicted that the 4-hour candle is going to leave a top wick for price to fill. That's the prediction. Remember, that's the reason for these trades, right? I gave 3 reasons right now for taking these sells. And also, I've given a level area to manage risk at 3196. So if you did take the sells down here, when price broke the high, you should have closed partial positions. I've taken very low risk, so I'm very much under my risk level here. But if the 15-minute candle closes at it or above it, then I close everything. 3196 is the level to manage risk. See how the 15-minute candle closes. If it closes bullish, then I will use the high to close positions, right? I will use the high. Let's say 2 minutes more for the 15-minute candle to close. So this high is the 15-minute high, 96.96. Yeah, 96.96. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for the 15-minute candle to close. And then I'm going to close probably all my trades here, everything here. Because if the 15-minute candle closes bullish in a minute, then the next one is likely to break the high and continue higher, right? So I'll close everything here. Another minute for the candle to close. Let's see. Pushing down. Ooh, nice, nice push down. Take another couple of positions. We should be pushing down now. Yeah, coming down. 15-minute candle looks like it's going to close bearish. Let's see. That's a rejection. 3188. 10 seconds more. Yeah, we look like we're going to close a bearish doji. Yeah, we closed a bearish doji. Nice. Should come to 3188. I took a couple of more entries here close to 3194. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Tapped it but didn't close. Don't like it. Anyway, give me a thumbs up if you're in the cells. Do you take the cells? No? Oh, great. Wonderful. Did you close partials? A 3188? I didn't. It didn't. The spreads were high on my on IC markets when it got there. It just pushed up to 1 pip. It was under 1 pip, then it suddenly pushed up to a pip. So it didn't close. So I might close if price pushes back up. I might just close them because 3188 was the minimum. I said for the 4-hour wick. That was the minimum, right? I said 120 pip wick. That's the minimum. That's the prediction. So we are. Let's see. If the 5-minute closes bullish, that means price is pushing back up. Yeah, it is. That's a shame. It just didn't. The TP didn't trigger. That's fine. If we break the high, I'll close everything here. If price breaks this 15-minute high, I'll close everything. You got to manage risk. It's unfortunate. Price tapped 3188, but the trades didn't close. It went to, in fact, 318788. Yeah, that's the usual. That's should have closed, but yeah, that was 1.2 pips. So which means the spreads were above 1.2 pips. Just widened. The spreads widened really a lot when it got there. Because you usually spreads on gold is on IC markets is like zero point 0.5 pips. But this went 1.2 pips below the TP and it still didn't trigger. So the spreads would have been about, I don't know, what, 1.5, 1.6 pips at that point. It's unfortunate, but these things happen. You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, fantastic. Partial TP, the TP triggered on your side. That's excellent. That's excellent. Which broker are you using again? XM. Oh, fantastic. XM did better than IC markets today. IC markets shortchanged me on the spreads today. This should have easily triggered on any other day. This is 1.2 pips below the TP level. And the spreads, and now the current spread is 1. So even if it was 1, it should have triggered. But it was obviously more above 1, maybe 1.3 or 1.5. That's quite high for IC markets, for gold. Yeah, we're coming back up now because that's the minimum that price needed to tap. That's why that was I used that 3188 as a TP as the first partial close level because that's the minimum. Now since price has tapped the minimum, it doesn't need to go further down. It can close anywhere in here, right? It's tapped the minimum. It can close anywhere. Coming back up. 5-minute candle is closed bullish. Yeah, we're pushing back up now. All right, I think I should end the stream now. I've been here for a while, yeah, almost 2 hours. Okay, so I'm going to manage risk on these at the levels I've given, 3196, and if it breaks above this high, I'm probably going to close 80% of my positions at 31. You can say 3197, right? 3197. I'll close 80% of my positions at 3197 at 3197, right? That's better. Yeah, 80%. 80% I'll close at 3197, right? So yeah, I'm not going to wait. So it's about a 35 to 40 pip stop loss, roughly 35. On these, it's less, about 18 pips. On these ones, it's about high, about 40 pips. So about 35 pip stop loss. Okay, so I'm glad you got something out of the trade. I've given out the buy idea for today, right? This was the sells. There's a buy idea for later on if you're going to be at the chart. Okay, if not, you can call it a day. I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. Hopefully, there won't be any technical issues and I'll be able to stream properly. Back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. It's a Friday, and we'll look for. I don't think there's any news tomorrow. We'll do our analysis and look for a setup for the first 2 hours of the NY Open. All right, take care, stay safe. If you've taken a trade, don't try to overtrade or over risk. You can watch the chart. If the buy idea plays out exactly the way I say it would, then you can take a trade with confidence. But make sure that you manage risk and you don't over risk. All right, take care. See you tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST.